what they mean. People who didn't speak last time or whomever, please do not take up all the time because we have to make a read. We have only been 2 council members. 1 minute at a time. Yeah. So.
My concern is when this shortfall will affect a lot of elderly people. I'm the executive director of CCUV. There's over 1,200 people in that building, but a lot of the people that are in that building are people who don't have families, that are 60, 70, 80 years old, that are waiting for SSI. That IDA was all that they had. You know, I think that there should be some allocations in the budget to allow that to continue. You're talking about an 80-year-old lady, and that's all that she had. When you take that away, it's nothing else. It's nothing else. I think that you need to consider that.
Absolutely.
As far as that budget is concerned, the elderly who represent at CCEC.
When you said the council person generally support, you know, not cutting the budget, well, what were you saying? What was that based on?
Well, so, I mean, there are a couple of things. But generally speaking, she obviously favors social services and social programs for all kinds of individuals, but certainly for the underprivileged and underserved district. So I know she's been very concerned about the cuts to the rental assistance, the proposed cuts to the emergency rental assistance, and it seems to be problematic piggybacked with cuts to homeless individuals, because then you're basically forcing people to become homeless and then not providing for them. And that argument is certainly not lost on her, it's not lost on many of us. I think, so generally speaking, she would absolutely favor restoring that kind of money. I think that the issue here, and the issue that all the council members are grappling with, is the fact that we have a huge budget shortfall and the money has to come from somewhere. Cutting services to the most needy doesn't seem to be the best idea, but that was the reason that I said that is, generally speaking, she has always favored supporting the kinds of programs. So
I think we need to look at it in terms of maybe if that was your mother being put on the street, because if the budget is cut, that's going to put children, mothers, men on the street. Instead of having the city be embellished, it's going to be disgraced. And a lot of people in the United States look up to Washingtonians. You know, it's served as a model for some people. And by cutting the budget, it's going to actually make a contradiction of us celebrating Dr. King's birthday in January and talking about his death in April. I mean, he wouldn't stand for people to be put in the street like that. Based on his practice up to 1968, he was in favor of the poor. And you know, there are other areas that can be cut. There are 9,000 cats, dogs, hamsters, and birds in the city that are sheltered. And we can find money for the poor.
Is Mary in favor of raising taxes?
yes, I think she is. I mean, I shouldn't say yes. Again, I haven't had, so I should give you a bit of background. I've only been back as the chief of staff for the past 3 weeks. So I have not yet had, I jumped in the middle of budget season, so I haven't yet had all of the in-depth conversations with her.
But you will be prepared when we come down, when I come down Thursday with me.
That's not what we've been told
Well,
about.
Mary will be here.
What have you been told?
We have been told that she isn't in support of necessarily raising the tax.
Okay. Again, I would have to speak with her more directly. And the person that you may also want to talk to is Jeremy Faust, who's our legislative director, who's been dealing almost exclusively with the budget. So I should have said yes, but I think so, but I'm not sure.
And actually, to build on what he said, you know, families are actually already being put out in the street. You know, they've already begun to turn families away from the shelter, and so you have families with small children. I mean, we're talking 5 years old and younger who are being put in the street. You know, I was at the hearing on March 11th in front of Jim Graham, where there were like 3 women who talked about how they were given bus tokens in the winter. You know, January, February, they were given bus tokens by the Family Intake Center and told to ride the bus with their small children all night. And this one woman had a baby on February 10th and left the hospital on the 12th. And for the whole first month of the baby's life, she was either in the Greyhound station or in the stairwell of an unsecured apartment because there was no room at the family shelter for her. You know, and so I mean, our city is not that strapped for cash that that a newborn baby has to spend the whole first month of their life, you know, being homeless.
True.
You know, and so I think that that's an indictment on DC when that kind of thing happens. And furthermore, you know, if you close down all the shelters on April 1st of next year, you know, that's the date that we're all kind of bearing in mind here, then what's going to happen is you're going to have thousands more homeless going to the streets, and that's going to be bad for business. And so, I mean, if it's about the money, then you might want to find somewhere to put the people because the reasoning for the Old Time 30 Club, or Thrive DC as it's now called, by MLK Library, was to keep the homeless out of downtown, and downtown bid paid $450,000 a year to keep the homeless in that basement. So, you know, during the day, you know, so they wouldn't be all around downtown, but we're going to reverse that. We're going to reverse all the gains we made by putting people in supportive housing, you know, and so, I mean, it's going to get bad. People are going to go to survival mode and do whatever they have to do to stay alive, you know, and so you're going to have a spike in crime, and so, I mean, it's bad for all of us. It's bad for the homeless who have nowhere to go. It's bad for business, you know, it's bad for the city's image. It's bad for everybody.
I agree. That is all.
I just like to say real quick, though, so I hope Ms. Bowser, I know she represents the ward, the people in Ward 4, who have been really.
Yeah, Ms. Bowser's next door.
Okay, Ward 3, okay. Ward 3. Ward 3 is Tillytown, right?
Yes.
What we have to
Tillytown,
do,
great place, really.
we have to show everybody where they need to
I
stand
know I
so
go up
we
there, I
can
know
get
there's a lot of people up there
everybody's
do a
to
lot of good work.
work. And we can't give faces,
And
and we
I
want
just
to
hope
make
that
sure we
Ms.
have
you
a
know, that Ms.
good
Cherry would
image of everyone
really
that we're meeting with
think hard about
and the people.
the tax issue, and trying to see if she can vote in favor of raising that 1.4 when the 4 should be on the other side of the decimal in all actuality. I mean, I think it's really a sad statement on those members of the council who would have a 0.4 tax increase and say they're not in favor of it. I think that's a real sad statement. You know, for a council person in the city to say they're against it, it's just really sad.
And if Ms. J is not concerned about voters, and she thinks that people like us, because she basically represents a lot of rich people. And
Well, but
she does.
that doesn't dictate how she approaches
Well,
policy.
it does, because, I mean, she's have to be loyal to her constituents.
Sure, but I mean,
and
one of the first
that is what it's
issues,
about.
one of the first issues that she tackled when she got here was payday lending. There weren't a lot of payday lenders in Ward 3. She wanted to close them down because they're predatory and they prey on the people who are least able to handle the debt that they're going to be saddled with as a result of that. So she doesn't just do things based on what is best for her constituents. She does what is best for the city. Certainly her constituents come into mind, but her background is as a constitutional scholar. She has a much broader view than just I'm here to please the people of Ward 3, and as you put that, I'm just here to please rich people. That's not it at all.
Well, I'm willing to bear, I want to say this last thing, she's going to be one of the ones that's not just going to vote and not in favor, and I'm willing to bet
Not in
money
favor
on
of
right
what?
now, of the tax increase.
And I do want to say that we do have people in her ward, Ward 3, who have come to hearings, have sent letters, have sent emails, and who have spoken to her in person saying, raise my taxes. And so supporting the tax increase could still be her supporting her constituents, because there are people in this city who make that amount of money and they will prefer to shelter and house people instead of having them
I think
on
that's
the
one of the
street.
hallmarks of Washington, is that this is where all the rich people who are willing to give up their money.
Just keep that
help
in
others
mind,
live.
keep her, keep that in
Thank
mind.
Unlike Orange County or someplace like that.
Thank you for your time.
You got a card?
I do. It's
Yeah,
right over
it's
there.
over there.
Okay,
Thank you.
and also, I want to invite you and the council member out on Monday. Every Monday now, we're meeting down at CC&V, the big shelter on 2nd and D Street, down in the basement at 1 o'clock. And so I want to invite you and/or the council member to come on down on some Monday at 1 o'clock. And it actually would be nice if you let us know beforehand so that we can have the appropriate, amenities there for you. But at the same time, but even if you do come unannounced, that's all good too. But you got an open invitation to come any Monday at 1 o'clock and hear the concerns of the homeless community. And always bear in mind that, if you don't take care of folk before April 1st, they're going to do things their own way. Like Frank Sinatra.
Thank you.
Okay, my way.
So I'll see you Thursday between 3 and 4. Okay. I did it my way.
All right, your camera, you get the last shot.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. Now, okay, what we gotta do, before we go into the next room.
Oh, yes.
Be scattered. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, they can't be scattered. If we're gonna get
Who
some
can't
good
be scattered?
pictures. Everybody going home. We need to get everybody into.
Yeah.
When you make that announcement, don't make it like a public service announcement. They're never gonna show up. An open-ended invitation, come when you want,
Yeah.
So what Rico's going in there is to close them. He's got the calendar.
Yeah.
When you look on your calendar and tell us what Monday, at 1 o'clock, you'll be there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what he's gonna close up on.
Okay. Okay.
So if you make it again, you wanna be able to say, hey, can you pull out your calendar? And if they
Okay.
can't, can I get your card? And I'm gonna email you and you're gonna tell me when we can meet.
Let's forget the card. I gotta go back and get the card. So,
That having been said.
so what's his
I will
name?
look at the calendar. Oh, I'm sorry.
So, who are you?
Jonathan, all the way at the left.
My middle name too. Eric Jonathan.
It's a good name.
Yeah, it is. Means God's gift to women.
There's one.